Alright you lot, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan, the Cottony Collector, and today I thought I'd try something a little bit different. Today we're going to look at some cards in the Scarlet and Violet era that I feel are wildly underrated. So before we start, I want to caveat, this is not financial advice, this is purely cards that I like, so don't come at me in the comments if you do go and buy them. Honestly, these are the cards that I think are really cool. They're very cheap at the moment as well. And as you'll see on screen shortly, I'm going to see how they've been tracking over the last year or so. But as I say, just a caveat again, this is not financial advice. If you buy them, it's on you. These purely cards that I think look really cool and could be good value for your collection. So I'm going to be tracking it using Pulse TCG. Really cool app. It's honestly probably the best one I've used. And by the way, this isn't a paid ad or anything like that. It's just one I prefer to use. Really cool app. It allows you to track loads of different prices and values of the cards and sealed products as well, and how they've been tracking over the last year, 3 years, etc. And you can also create your own portfolio as well on there and track the value as well of your portfolio and your investments as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start with a card that I think is massively underrated. Honestly, it's one of the best cards for me in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's the Infernape from Twilight Masquerade. So why do I think it's so cool? Well, firstly, look at it. It's popping colours, beautiful colours, really cool artwork, and I like the close-up, the extreme close-up of the actual image as well, and the actual artwork. It's proper in your face, it feels really fiery, which is the whole point, being the fire monkey itself. Massively, it's a starter Pokemon as well, which makes a huge difference. And for me, the price range is crazy low at the moment, £13.43, with the last solds being around £12, £13 at the moment as well. But if you track it over the last year or so, if we go all the way back, it hasn't really changed. It's gone from about £10 roughly to about £14 over the last year. It's dropped, it's gone up, it's gone back down. I think people are sleeping on this one, genuinely. I think it's a beautiful card, and obviously, even more so, in a PSA 10 at the current value is £110. I've got one in an Ace 10 at the moment. It's beautiful with the Ace slabs as well. Really big fan of this card. I think it's honestly underrated. Twilight Masquerade as a general set is pretty undervalued as it is anyway, but this is one of the main cards for me in the set. I know there's some strong cards in there as well, but I think this is going wildly underrated, and I honestly believe this Infernape will do well in the future. Okay, next on the list is a bit of a left field shout, really. I think this set is wildly underrated, and I personally think Journey Together specifically is going to be massively undervalued in the future. I think you can pick it up pretty cheap at the moment for what it is. Obviously, it didn't help the placement of where it was in the actual set listing. Obviously, we had Prismatic and then we had Destined Rival straight after. It's kind of the forgotten brother a little bit. Beautiful cards in there. You've got Lilius Clefairy, Ionis Bellibolt, etc, etc. Some really nice end cards as well. But I think one that's going to go massively undervalued at the moment is the Wailord. This is very, very different, very, very unique. And honestly, for £16, I think it's a very good price at the moment too. The last solds are around £15 as well. But when you start looking at a PSA 10 Wailord from Journey Together, it's £172 average roughly. And as you can see from the last year, it's dropped a little bit, but it's stayed around the same sort of price, £15 there or thereabouts. It dipped a little bit over, when was it, around January time, which usually happens in that sort of winter period anyway. But honestly, guys, I'd pick this up. I think it's a beautiful card. Really, really nice. And as I say, for £16, you can't go wrong. It seems to be a very steady Eddie card at the moment as well. So, you know, if you want this in your collection, something that's a bit more unique, a bit different, a pretty cool Pokemon as we speak as well. For £16, I'd add it into the portfolio. I'd add it into the collection as well. But this is a really nice card, and I think this is great. Right, we've got a banger here, a really big card. In my opinion, massively undervalued. Misty Psyduck. As we know, Misty, Gen 1, she's one of the OGs and obviously a nostalgia trigger as well. And Psyduck is a very, very popular Pokemon as well. I believe it's inside the top 10, top 15, I believe, from last check-in. And obviously putting them two together, you're cooking, right? So £53 market value at the moment, according to Pulse TCG. And obviously, when you look at the PSA 10s, nearly £400 at the moment. That's crazy. The last sold is around the similar price, so £52-ish. And again, if you look in the last year, it's been pretty steady. It started around the £40 mark and it's slowly creeping up as we speak. But honestly, Destined Rivals, because of the reprints, a lot of them have been taking hits, obviously, in terms of the price. But one thing I will say around the singles have always been pretty steady at the moment. Destined Rivals, obviously the sealed collection, and it being a Team Rocket set, you know, it's been up and down, and with the reprints, that's really helped it. But I think if you look at the card itself, it's really cool. It's unique as well. You know, she's underwater. Psyduck looks like he's swimming along and above her. Really cool card. Honestly, I just think this is one that you need in your collection. And obviously, some people do collect the Misty cards anyway. So if there's part of that, you need this anyway. But if you are master setting Destined Rivals, this is a must. But for me, if you're collecting individuals and single cards, you can't go wrong with Misty Psyduck. It's only going to get bigger and better in the future. Personally, I'd pick it up. Up to you guys, though. I think it's a great card. Okay, next one is Twilight Masquerade again, but this time it's one with a theme, right? So I think that cards with a theme do really well. This theme specifically is multiple Pokemon in one hit, especially in one card. Chansey, obviously a Gen 1 Pokemon, well loved as well. So yeah, having multiple Pokemon in a card, I think always tends to do well. And especially the Pokemon that are featured in this card really help it as well, with Snorlax and Psyduck in there, as well as Ditto. Really cool card. I think this is pretty undervalued, £42 as well. Again, same argument with Infernape, but on a higher end. Really cool card, massively undervalued, and the set itself is pretty undervalued as it is. PSA 10s are going for £240 roughly. And again, it's another last sold is going over the price of its current value, with £44, £45 roughly. And again, it's started to go up a little bit as we speak. So yeah, we're in the midst of it going up at the moment. So again, hold off on this for a couple of weeks, I would say, if you do want to pick this up. Again, if you want to pay for it now, crack on, no problem. But as I say, over the last year, it has been half that price roughly. But this is clearly a card that's moving fast and in the right direction. And at £42, I don't think you can go wrong. Now, I'm going to caveat this one. I'm not a collector of Black Bolt White Flare, personally. And I've said that really weird. But I'm going to be honest, I opened a few packs of this. It's not really my generation, it's not really my era, so I kind of lost interest very fast. However, because this set is a very unique set, with every single Pokemon in the set getting an illustration rare or an SIR, it's very unique, and it will be sought after in the future. It's the first of its kind, the first time it's ever been done. I was doing my research into what cards are going up and down, what looks cool, what I would add to my personal collection, and I found Conkeldurr. I think that's how you say it, Conkeldurr. Really, really cool card. Colours really pop. I love all this sort of style where the colours are like a little bit more retro. It feels like a little bit 80s to me. You know, that retro club vibe. Really strong card. For £20, also very, very strong. But if you look at the PSA 10 as well, £350 nearly. That's a really, really cool card and a very good return if you do get a 10. Obviously, the last sold around the £19 mark, so it's not really moved. But as you can actually see, when it came out, it was around £9, around £7, £8 a year ago. This is creeping up. This is a really, really underrated card by the looks of things. And as I say, it's not one of the most popular Pokemon in the world, and obviously people ain't rushing out to buy this card, I don't think. But what I will say, if you want something pretty cool in your collection that's very different, I would go down this route. And obviously, if you want to grade it as well, try and grab a good copy, because your return on a PSA, and PSA 10 specifically, would be very, very good. As you can see, it's slowly going up, really, really slowly. It's going from the £13 mark all the way up to the £20 mark currently. If you want to pick it up a little bit cheaper, let's see in a couple of weeks if it drops a little bit more. But honestly, really cool card. I'd pick it up if you really like this card, and if you're a fan of that generation as well. Really, really nice. Conkeldurr from Black Bolt. Now, I was doing a bit more on White Flare as well. Zorua, I love this Pokemon. I think it's a really cool Pokemon. And I honestly, I think these cards for Zorua specifically usually sort of follow the same theme. This darkness, I know it's a darkness Pokemon, but it's like moonlight, pretty dark all the time. But this one feels a lot lighter in comparison to the others that have been released as of late. For £35, I think this is a pretty good pickup. Admittedly, we're hitting a peak of a spike of it at the moment. So maybe wait until it dips. Because it's around the high point at the moment, but over the last year it's nearly doubled, if not doubled in price here. So it started around £15-16. It has been around £10 before, but it's been a slow gradual climb for the last year. Obviously, White Flare, as with Black Bolt, every single card had an illustration rare or an SIR, so obviously there's a lot of them. It's a big set. But if you wanted to pick up some individual cards, as I say, really nice artwork. It's pretty clean, as I said before. And to be honest with you, like I say, if you want a nice, clean Zorua card, that isn't as dark and isn't as creepy like it has been before, this is the way to go. I honestly like this card. I think for, you know, a PSA 10, £273 as it's currently going. Last solds are around the £40 mark, so it's actually going over the price of what it's currently valued at. So guys, maybe hold off on this one for a couple of weeks, see how this like moves if you are interested in this card. But I really like it. I'd go and pick it up personally. So as I said, something with a theme always does well, and with this time, a new theme that seems to be going really crazy at the moment is the sleepy Pokemon phase. Obviously with this one, there is a sleeping Pokemon in it. And we've got Joltik as the actual focus of this card. For £14 from Paradox Rift, I think this is a pretty cool card. And to be honest with you, I think Joltik in general is a pretty cool Pokemon. It's very different. It's obviously an electric spider, technically. And yeah, I think this is one of the things that I'm starting to see a little bit more of is these sleepy collections. And this is very much a cool card to have in your collection. So if you are collecting sleepy Pokemon, here's one to go for. Market price is really affordable at the moment. It's obviously £14, which is really good. It's starting to peak a little bit, but again, it's not moved too drastically from where it was a year ago. It's around £10 roughly. If you look at the year graph, you know, it started around £8, it's moving up to 10, and it's sort of averaged around that number for around 6 months or so, 7 months, and it's starting to spike a little bit. Again, that may be because Paradox Rift is becoming a more older set. But again, for £14, really cool card. Colours really pop as well, really great stuff. And as I say, for a PSA 10, £120, I'd buy it personally. I think it's a pretty cool card, but yeah, really cool. Now for me, this is wildly underrated. I love Destined Rivals, absolutely love it. It you know, kicks my nostalgia all the way to the curb. I love this card. It's Ethan's Typhlosion. As I say, I'm a Gen 1 guy, but honestly, I think when you look at the actual artwork, this is so good, so good, and wildly undervalued at £23 here. You know, a PSA 10 is worth £265. I've got this in the Ace 10. Again, the labels really pop on this card. But I find it staggering that this card is still being floating around £20 to £25 roughly for the last year. So, you know, it started around the £30 mark, and it's actually dropped a lot. And obviously that might be due to the reprints from Destined Rivals. But in all seriousness, if you're going to pick up this card and you need it in your collection, I'll do it now. It's a really good card. I can't see this dropping any lower than its current price. I'd be very surprised if it drops below £20. Again, really cool Pokemon. It's another starter. Obviously, you've got the main trainer from the game, Gold and Silver. Really cool. I love this artwork. I think the energy in it is banging, really strong. And as I say, for a PSA 10, £265, it's absolutely worth going to pick up. Beautiful card. Add it to your collection. I would personally. Yeah, here's another banger, and another banger. And this time it's from Obsidian Flames, and it's Ninetails. This is crazily undervalued in my opinion. £30 at the moment from market price, and it was a lot cheaper as well. A year ago it was around £20 mark. It's climbing now. It's really climbing. Obsidian Flames is obviously also becoming a bit of an older set now, so this might be why it's playing into it a little bit. Obsidian Flames in general is quite hard to get hold of now. But in all seriousness, I think this card is wildly undervalued. At £30, really strong, and obviously you look at the PSA 10 price at £360. Last sold is dropping around 25 to 26, and obviously the market value is around 30, as I say. I genuinely think it's a beautiful card. You know, again, Gen 1, Vulpix is a popular Pokemon as well, and its evolution line is Ninetails. It's just a stunning piece of artwork. I love this piece of artwork, honestly. And obviously with Obsidian Flames, the main chase always being the Charizard. This got to be in the top 3, I think. So, you know, when you look at the actual set itself, this is really strong. I think that it's wildly undervalued. I love this card. It's up to you guys, but I think this is a really cool card to have in the collection. Okay, last card I'm going to suggest, and I think is wildly undervalued here, is actually from Temporal Forces, which everyone knows wasn't desired at all. This set is really not desirable. You could buy this anywhere, even up to about 5-6 months ago. This was available. This was in shops. No one was picking this up. And honestly, it's one of the better cards in Scarlet and Violet, really. If you look at the Pokemon, it's Gastly, obviously, is the focus. But it's got all its evolution line in there. So it's got Haunter and Gengar as well. And also the little Meowth in the bottom corner, obviously hiding behind the bin. I think this is massively undervalued. And again, if you look at the yearly tracker, £32 is starting at in August last year. It's slowly climbing. Slowly climbing, and it's heading up to the £75 mark, and it's dropped slightly as of late, but £63 is very good. And when you look at the PSA 10 value, £450, that will climb, that will get higher. in my opinion anyway. This, again, not financial advice, but I do see this happening, this definitely climbing. You know, everyone loves Gengar, everyone loves the Gastly line, Haunter line. Pretty cool card, you know, and obviously with the addition with Meowth in there as well. I just think, honestly, you've got to have this in your collection. At £63, there may not be another chance for you to grab hold of it at a decent price. So for me personally, I think this is wildly undervalued at 63 quid. I personally would pick this up and add it into your collection. And there we have it, guys. There are cards that are massively undervalued in the Scarlet and Violet era, in my opinion. As I say, this is not financial advice. Please do buy what you want to buy. But let me know down in the comments, was I right, was I wrong? Did I miss any out? And obviously be kind down in the comments. Everyone wants to be friends here. It's a good community, so let us know what you think. But I'd appreciate a like, subscribe, a share, all that good stuff. Go and follow me on Instagram as well, over at the Cottony Collector. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace! Alright, you lot. Are you looking to level up your sealed collection? If so, look no further than Zard Guard. Zard Guard provide the ultimate protection for your collection. It's made by collectors for collectors. Zard Guard specialise in premium acrylics for your ETBs, your booster boxes, your booster bundles, your UPCs, you name it, they've got it. And you can level up your collection as well with the code Cottony Collector for a 10% discount at checkout. Zard Guard, the ultimate protection for your collection.